going down, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Holmes Hobbies Motor Control. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman. We're back in the studio. We're back on track, back on the grind. If you guys are new to this channel, then you should know every Monday, sometimes Tuesday, we bust out an episode of Holmes Hobbies Motor Control. What is Holmes Hobbies? You want to know? Well, Holmes Hobbies makes motors. Stuff like this right here, the old Crawlmaster, or maybe something like this right here, the old Trailmaster. Or maybe some brushless stuff. I mean, they make all kinds of stuff. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this product. That is the SHV500, right? That is the Holmes I can't even talk today. That's the Holmes Hobbies 12-volt servo. This is the one that allows you to wire directly through your power connectors, basically to your battery, so that you can have 12-volt power directly to your servo. No BEC required. Allows for very, very direct power, very, very clean setup, less wiring, less money spent because you do not have to buy a BEC. So yeah, it's just a great setup, and we're gonna go ahead and install one today because I have some damage control to handle. When I was at Axial Fest, I messed up a couple of things, getting a little crazy, getting a little carried away. You know, just bashing with the homies. There's a lot of people down there that I was hanging out with. I was having a lot of fun, and basically, I blew out the servo in. Is that dirty? Sorry guys, I think the camera was dirty. But basically, I blew out the servo in the Grape Ape. Thankfully, CKRC was on site and Jason came through with the servo for me, got me right back in the game. However, shortly after that, I blew out my factory rear locker. So we will probably have the Grape Ape on next week as well, replacing a locker, because I don't think we've installed one in a Wraith yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Not install a locker, the spool. We're going to replace the factory locker with the spool, but that'll be next episode. This episode, we're going to go ahead and install this and get that cheap servo that I got to replace the other cheap servo that I blew up. We're going to end the cheap servo action, and we're going to put in a quality servo finally. So let's get started. I'm going to bust a Grape Ape out, and yeah, let's do it. Oh. Alright, the Grape Ape. Boom. Alright, so here's the Grape Ape. You guys are probably pretty familiar with this thing. It's been around for a minute. We've done a lot of work on it. We beat the snot out of it. Right now it has some serious issues. As you can see, I can, well, there it goes, yeah. See that there? That's not supposed to happen. So that's either a rear locker or a rear ring and pinion. That'll get fixed on the next episode, I'm assuming. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install this, and we're going to remove this. This is a brand new Tactic TSX57. It's a digital servo. It's basically, you know, just a get-by type of servo. Nothing too flashy, nothing too powerful. Definitely not a super competitive servo. However, I picked this up from CKRC on site at Axial Fest because they always have what you need. They also had a bunch of other servos, but I figured I just needed to get through the event. I didn't want to get something expensive off of them because I have these bad boys sitting here waiting for me. So let's get this ripped out. Let's get this put in. It should be fairly easy. The only thing that's going to be a little funny is we're going to have to wire in the power, which means I got to find the power back there somewhere. We might have to extend it. We'll see. All right. So now we got all the screws out. Set them all aside. That way I don't lose them. The last thing I want to do is lose screws. Pull the horn off first. Boom. That's loose. Now we should be able to slide this right out. Yep. And I have it set up to where it plugs in right here. I have an extension that comes out, which makes it very, very easy to swap my servo out. Just like that, it's out. So now let's crack this bad boy open. Here's our servo. Let's go ahead and get the horn out of here. I should get a metal horn for this, but we'll worry about that another time. That's the one we're going to want to use right there. So now, we can go ahead and reinstall the servo. Everything goes back pretty much the same at first. You're going to want to hook your signal wire up to your signal wire. Just plug it into your regular port there, right? Just like you would normally. But you're going to have this extra servo wire here. This extra power wire is going to be positive and a negative. So comes with the plug, so that way you can solder one end on, and then you can, you know, extend it if you need to before soldering it, and then you'll have a nice clean connection. So we will go ahead and just slide it out of the way for now. Alright, so now we got the servo back in. We don't want to put the horn on until we can actually power it up, but what we will do is remove this old servo horn and put the new one on, which will take a little modifying. I usually take something like this, just kind of hollow out the last one a little bit so I can get a screw through it without cracking the plastic, because I do run a slightly bigger screw through there. Alright, so now I got that hole hollowed out a little bit more. Put the new one on, make sure you're facing the right direction. Oh, now we are good to go with that. Go ahead and route this back. And this is where everyone's going to have to figure it out on their own. You've got to figure out a way to get this power cable to this right here. Now everyone's going to have this in a different spot, but for me personally, I'm going to need to get it right here in line with these other ones. So this, what I can do is I have an old BEC that's hooked up here. Well, it's not hooked up anymore, but I have an old BEC that runs up in here that's just for looks, because it's purple RC four-wheel drive one. That one right there. And it's not actually doing anything, so what I can do is I can steal the wires from that. And that should allow me to wire it directly to it. Alright, so now what I gotta do is solder these together. Let me show you guys what I got going on here. This wire right here runs right down here to my ESC wire right here. Right? It's tied into that. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to solder this little plug right here directly to these two little plugs and then plug it into that, and I am done. So let me do that real quick and we'll see how it works. Alright you guys, so we've got this servo all installed. Everything is wired up, everything is bolted back in, everything is trimmed out. We had to remove the old BEC that was in there. Yeah, other than that though, it is all in, it is all working. Now the one problem we do have is we can't take it out and test it today because the rear end is blown in this truck, which I'll be fixing on the next episode, I believe, because I'm pretty sure that it is a blown rear locker, and I have a Holmes Hobbies spool to replace it. For now, though, let's go ahead and turn it on, and we'll just do a quick bench test. So, here we go. Go ahead and click the old radio on. Boom, action. And then we're going to go underneath here, and we're going to plug it in, because I keep my wires underneath on this one. Alright, there's the appropriate beeps. As you can see, it's all trimmed out and everything for the most part. Maybe a little bit that way. There we go. So anyways, boom. That is power right there. This is no BEC installed, guys. No BEC installed. Now, I know some of you guys are seeing the guy in the driver's seat turning the wrong direction. That's because I need to get a servo reversing Y harness now. But watch it. I'm going to try to hold this wheel here. And it still wiggles the whole thing around. You can see it's actually, I have a loose servo mount, it looks like, on there. But yeah, so this is awesome. We're good. We're good. Rap, rap. I love this thing. Just makes me want to go. Alright, alright. We're gonna do some desk bouncing. Alright. I'm pretty stoked, man. Pretty stoked right now. Seems to be working really well. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. Yeah. And we'll take it out. Hopefully next time we'll be able to get that locker swapped out real quick and then maybe take this out and play around. I really want to take this out and do some hill killing. So anyways, you guys, thank you very much for watching. You know what it is. I'm going to see you on the next episode. If you want any of the specs, any of the information on this, please go to Holmes Hobbies website. So there we have it. Remember, that's the BLS SHV500 servo from Holmes Hobbies. 12-volt servo, powered directly from the battery. This is a very, very, very awesome servo. All metal gear. It has been revised several times to get to where it is now, so it is extremely reliable, extremely powerful, and extremely responsive. So I hope you guys will really enjoy this one. I highly recommend it. I'm going to take this out and beat on it. I got 2 more to install. And yeah, you guys know what it is. I'm going to see you on the flip side. Peace and chicken grease. Yeah.